Shalom, amigos. We are Crypto for Joe, cryptocurrency and blockchain ideas for your average Joe. Speaking today with Cayman Nava. Cayman, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
Okay, I'd like to reset everything today. It is basically, for all intents and purposes, June of 2021. Let's just reset the whole space. Let's just go back and let's go give it the old scenario. Aliens have landed on Earth and don't know anything about what's going on since the you can gloss over obviously some of this since the dawn of time. Mankind and all this communication, what's to this, the internet, blockchain. Reset the whole thing for us, and as if we were either 3 years old or an alien. Reset the whole space because people understand the internet pretty much. Or let's just say that, I'm going to back up a minute. And you hear this a lot when you hear people talking about crypto. You'll hear, I can't get my mind around it. I've studied it. I can't understand it. I just don't understand it. But here's the deal. They don't understand how their phone works either. They don't understand how the signal triangulates, how it goes from tower to tower, what it does. But they don't think about it. And eventually, clearly, we're going to get this way with blockchain and crypto. But right now, people can't get their mind around it. So that's what I'm kind of wanting to try to get to, a place where we can explain from a very elementary standpoint what this is. So I figure if we back up to the beginning and walk us through the steps leading to the internet, maybe that context will help us to understand cryptocurrency and blockchain programming.
Right. And I think that there's, we could maybe use a metaphor here, like think about before the internet, how did you send a message to somebody? You used the mail.
Right.
You wrote down a letter, on a piece of paper, you stuck in an envelope, you wrote down their address, you sent it off, and it was there. And then now in the modern age, internet age, we use email, and in some ways it's similar, but then of course there's a few differences too. You're not writing their home address on the email. You're just writing their email address.
Right. So a little bit of anonymity there.
Right. And likewise, there's a few other things that are added to email where you don't have a subject on your on your envelope, on your physical mail, but on your email, there's always a subject line. And so, ranging from bigger to smaller differences, things that are kind of similar, but not, not exactly the same. I feel like the same maybe applies to money, cash, pre-crypto money and cryptocurrency or blockchain. I feel like money kind of evolved, people had pots of gold and, protecting their pots of gold. And then, there's an institution around their money, and now that institution is lending out money to other people. It's things developed kind of according to different needs, and the money that existed before cryptocurrency was largely had a digital nature bolted on as an afterthought. So online banking and all this kind of came around. It did come around with the internet, but it's not kind of fundamental to how it worked before. Cryptocurrency is a reimagining of money, starting from a internet first, digital first principles.
And what are these principles?
I would say transparency, immutability, verifiability.
Okay.
So using cryptography to help protect and secure the system. So in the same way that you can go to a website and be fairly assured that a hacker is not going to sniff that data coming to you, like when you're going to your bank online, you can feel assured that someone's not sniffing your bank details as it's going. Using the same kind of techniques to ensure that you're able to send you're able to send money and other people are able to receive it and know that you are good for it. Know that you're only spending it one time and not spending that same money multiple times.
How easy is it for the average Joe to use to let's acquire Bitcoin or Ether and then move it from here to there, move it to somebody else, give a donation here? Or how long does the process take if I want to purchase, 500 bucks of Ether? We've already talked about Coinbase being the go-to exchange, probably the go-to, one of them, or the go-to. How long would it take me to buy that, from start to finish? And then how long does it take me if I want to transfer funds from one place to another? How long does that process take, by and large?
So on your first question, like how long does it take to go from like, I've got money in my bank account, now I want it to be converted to a Ether or to something else? There are some services that let you buy instantly with a credit card or something like that, or I think even linked to your bank account. I think Coinbase is one of them. So instantly being, within a matter of minutes, you, after filling in your details, your card details, you now have a wallet with some cryptocurrency on it.
Yeah. Very safe, by the way, right? At that point, relatively safe.
I mean, once you have the cryptocurrency, then you're playing by cryptocurrency rules. You're no longer playing by the bank rules. I mean, the banking system is only as safe as the banking rules. And the crypto system is only safe as the crypto rules.
How do the rules differ in general?
I mean, I would say like non-crypto rules things are more squishy. Maybe there's more leniency in some ways, but also less transparency and there's less transparency. So it's kind of like maybe unclear exactly, when you're on your bank's website and you're clicking set, you're trying to send a wire transfer or something. It's kind of unclear when does the wire transfer get sent, and like why is the fee the way it is, or like what's happening behind the scenes. I don't really know. On a blockchain, it's a lot more transparent. You are actually in control of your funds. You're not giving them to a third party to control. And then as far as you're saying, like how quick is it to send?
Yeah.
This is where cryptocurrency and blockchain has not yet, I would say not yet, like broken into the mainstream, and maybe this is an area to come. But it depends on if the person you're sending money to, are you talking about cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency?
Yes.
Yeah, I could send you some Ether or some stable coins or whatever. That takes, I mean, a second or a few seconds for me to actually send it. It'll take up to a few minutes for you to get it.
Okay.
And if you're talking about me sending you crypto and then it turning into fiat or turning into US dollars or cash on the other end,
right?
Now you're having to play with both the crypto system and the legacy financial system. So that would maybe look like sending it to a brokerage who then does a conversion to dollars, sends you the dollars. You're probably looking at a few days.
Okay. I think that what I've come to learn in the course of doing these programs is that Ether seems to be the strongest cryptocurrency for the fact that it is programmable. It has almost all of the resources being funneled into it for the development of this behind the scenes internet, the secure blockchain type internet. And then Bitcoin being Bitcoin because it was first, because it's limited 21 million, and because it's still there's kinks, but it hasn't been hacked. It's very secure. Can you walk me through some of the is there anything comparable to Ether and Bitcoin? Are those the kings, or what is your opinion in terms of a hierarchy for the thousands of cryptocurrencies out there?
I'd say honestly, as an average Joe, I'd just say stick with those two. I don't think much else is. I mean, there's other other things probably worth investing in if you look into like the DeFi space
Hmm.
and there's some tokens that might be worth investing in there. But by and large, I'd say, don't get don't try to get so greedy that you end up buying a scam coin just to try to make a few extra percent. It's like you're gonna do all right
Yeah.
with Bitcoin and Ether. Just stick with it.
Yeah. Same with trying to do things too quickly. I bought it yesterday and today it's down. Yeah, I don't think you can, I don't think it's very realistic to try to, it's seen tremendous gains, but then there was a recent crash. Are you still, how bullish are you at this moment on kind of a trick question on the Ether and the Bitcoin?
How bullish am I? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, medium to long term, very, very, maybe even hyper bullish.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm not sure if we've talked about the ultrasound money
Yeah.
meme, but ultrasound money narrative
Yeah.
that's kind of swept through the Ethereum ecosystem. But basically, a series of updates to the Ethereum protocol is going to change the financial outlook of how the coin Ether is distributed and burned,
Hmm.
such that it looks to become a very strong store of value. Basically, 80% plus of all fees that are paid in Ethereum are going to be burned,
Hmm.
which is kind of a redistributive effect for all Ether holders.
Hmm.
And let me tell you, there are a lot of fees on Ether.
Okay.
Ether. I want to say the revenue from fees is currently 5 times that of Bitcoin
Wow.
per day. So
Okay.
there's a lot of transactions and a lot of money being settled on Ether,
Okay.
and all of those are going to be burned, or 80% of those are going to be burned, which means they're not being paid out to miners, and
Right.
miners are not selling them on the market to pay for their costs.
Right.
The other thing that's happening that's kind of in conjunction with this is we're removing miners and we're only using stakers or validators.
Hmm.
And the thing is about that, we're paying stakers or validators, I want to say 1/10 of the reward that we're paying miners. And the reason is because it's a lot easier to stake. Like there's less computational churning.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm. Right.
99.9% more efficient,
Yes. It's greener.
computationally greener. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're able to pay a lot less, but get the same or more security. So we're paying a lot less, we're burning a lot more. What that translates to is constant or slowly decreasing total supply. So, while Bitcoin has a 21 million cap, we're talking about in Ether, there's not a hard cap, but if demand continues and grows, you're looking at a number that slowly decreases over time.
Hmm. Awesome. How does the government get its hands on, I haven't figured out how the government's able to get any taxes off of this cryptocurrency. They haven't either, by the way. And so then you have these funny, I think it's hilarious. The central banks are behind this cryptocurrency, or China's got its own cryptocurrency, which is a total joke, and that China's the reason frankly, the United States and, all the other governments tend to be, for the average Joe, one of the main reasons why we have a cryptocurrency, why we needed one in the first place. Distrust of the system, I guess, would be one of them. But anyway, we have it. How is the government going to eventually get any taxes out of the cryptocurrency space?
Right. Well, I mean, in China, the currency will expire if you don't spend it in a certain amount of time. So,
Yeah.
very dystopian.
Yes.
I mean, it seems like right now their plan is, if you're a business and you're accepting cryptocurrency, that's income. And if you are, paying for other expenses, and you're somehow like paying for them in money that you didn't report, like things aren't going to be adding up on the balance sheet if you're not reporting.
Right.
your cryptocurrency. That's more. I'm more thinking about like, like just receiving, even if it's stable coins, like a business has to like declare or like show that they're receiving money for whatever goods they're selling.
Yeah, but that seems really short term. I mean, and requires a lot of work on their end to go and sniff out, well, what's going on here? I mean, do you see a bigger way, a way forward for government? Because they're supposed to, I mean, you got to give them theirs, but in crypto, how do they know what's going on? How are, going forward, how in the world are they going to get paid on this stuff? If at all?
Well, I think it's I think the low hanging fruit is whenever things come back into the real world.
Right. Exactly.
Then they're visible. If you have whatever, $1 million in Bitcoin, but you don't ever spend it, no one will probably know.
Right.
I mean, depending on how you bought it. But if you go and buy a Lambo and park in your front yard, I mean, someone's going to notice that, right?
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Well, I appreciate your time today. We'll conclude and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.